I said like actually made sense.
No, it doesn't.
I'm
But I understand.
I almost like make up words, right?
Yeah.
Which just so the office knows, in this video, to be truthful, this is how messy my office is. This is just a pigsty. But we want to get this recording out because we have limited time, Megan, and then you're no longer in the office.
Yes.
So we're kind of on
But since Matthew Lewis gave me the
green light.
The green light to don't be a stranger, come on by. I'm like, okay, then I'll be here to record episodes.
We're going to use Sherman's time if that's okay with you.
Yeah, but it's only gonna have to be after hours, except for Fridays. Fridays I can come.
Yeah.
Remember, every other Friday.
Do the show.
So we'll like crank out some eppies.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We could, how we're thinking of doing like a couple shows. Maybe we do a podcast and then we do a show or two.
Yeah.
Just kind of see how we like it.
Wow, the last one we posted was vision casting, and it got 20 plays. The
Wow.
least amount of plays that we got was on adulting. That wasn't our best episode though.
I think we tried too hard to like get certain things into it
Yeah, we did.
instead of just like
The most
ad-libbing
plays
it.
we actually got was on the first intro episode of the Asian Sensation. It has
How many?
39 plays.
Well, you know, people are going to go back to the original.
Yeah.
Right? They like the original.
And then
We like the original.
The top 3 interview tips also got it has 26 plays. Megan's Revelations has 24. Vision casting has 20. Work-life balance has 15, and side hustles has 19. Self-limiting beliefs has 17. So I think they like when we just talk about random things.
And that's what we should go for.
Yeah, I think
We should rechange it to Random Things by Megan and Sherman.
Well, the way I have it on, it's called The Ramblings of Megan and Sherman.
Oh, there you go. It aligns.
Yeah, so that's what I had it as, was The Ramblings. So we should address that we were, obviously MIA.
Let's do it.
And then we should just...
Oh, do you need to publish that? What do you have there?
No. I don't know why it was on there like that, because it's already been posted.
Okay.
That's the one that got 20 plays.
Okay. You might have just gone into the...
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing.
You're a new episode, right? Let me
Yeah.
just make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. I just make sure. Just kidding. Oh my gosh.
We're ridiculous. How have we gotten anything accomplished in life?
I don't know.
I'm ridiculous. All right, you ready?
Wait, is this how? Oh, here we go. Ready?
Hello, it's Sherman, the crazy Asian.
And it's Megan, and welcome back to the Asian Sensations. We've taken like a month hiatus.
Yes, but it was not on purpose, everybody.
It really wasn't.
We're not neglectfully thinking, oh man, let's try to avoid this podcast.
We actually think about it all the time. We just don't have time.
Yes.
Just because there's been a lot of life changes. So, we're here to just kind of ramble today about different things, what we're doing. We have a lot of exciting things happening over here in our worlds. So we want to share it.
And really, I would throw you under the bus.
Thank you.
for all the changes. But to be honest, remember, this is for people that maybe not know this very, very closely, is that Meg and I, we work together, and so we need to be respectful of getting work done, right?
Correct.
So during the hours of like 8 to 5, we want to respect our employer and work at what needs to get done. And so this is really more of a passion project that Megan and I try to just have a go at doing and record. And right now we have 3 phones going right now. One's recording it if you want to watch us on YouTube, which, by the way, is absolutely hysterical. It's fun to watch. It's unedited, just like you hear here. But it's just kind of funny just to see, like how we're not in the studio. There's no special microphones here. This is just
Not
literally
this time.
Meg and I in the office over a golf towel sits our 2 cell phones and recording it together.
Yep.
So,
Fancy.
yeah, real low budget. But before going any further, what we'll do is we'll break for a sponsorship, and we will come back to the Asian Sensations. Okay. So now what we're doing is we're just putting in for the video people.
I forget.
Intro to the Sensations podcast.
So my family has gone on this. Oh, I think I want to talk about this on the show.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Episode. I don't know what episode this is, but
I don't know.
podcast. I'm just going to call it 9.
I just named it intro. and then I just move on to the next segment.
I should have done that. That's a way smarter.
I just say intro, and then I move on because I'll name the episode after. And then I just move my sponsor, which again, waiting for sponsees.
Yeah, so if you have any sponsorships opportunities here for the two crazy Asians over here on the Asian Sensations, let's
Would
do
love
it.
to make a podcast.
Here, let's adjust it so I want it to get a little bit lower. Not too much lower, but is that too much?
I don't know, you're tall.
Now does it feel like we're in like a smaller room? All of a sudden we've got like a short room
Yeah.
or something? It feels like,
Yeah.
All right.
Feels small. Like I'm Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And
Or like one of those like fun houses. Woo.
Yes. Oh, are you recording? Oh.
All right.
Okay, are you kicking this off? I don't know why everything's with a Y right now.
It totally
Sponsees. Offie?
is. Do it. All right, everybody, and we're back here, the Asian Sensations podcast.
Yes.
So let's just jump in. You were about to talk about your family before I totally cut you off.
Oh, well, I know, I guess we'll talk about that now. No, I was talking to my family this weekend about, because obviously I'm young and I'm unmarried, right? And I'm talking about kids. And so I just posted this thing on Instagram. It was this tweet by, I think this account called Women That Love Wine or something.
Yeah.
And it was saying like, half of me, like the 20s, your 20s is a weird time. Half of me wants to get married and like have buy a house, get a husband and have a successful career. And then the other half of me wants to buy a one-way ticket to Bora Bora and like have no responsibilities and drink like cocktails on the beach. And my sister just responded to me while we were uploading the first half of the intro, and she said go with the second half, which was funny because then my aunt, like we were talking about it at lunch on Sunday, and she was like, yeah, grandma keeps saying that, you know, you need to get married, and I keep telling her like Megan's living her best life, like just let her live it. And I'm like, I'm really glad that all my family is like, we're content with enough children in the family. You don't have to contribute. So I'm like, I'm here for that, because at this point I'm pretty positive I don't want to have children.
Mm-hmm.
And then that like takes me into this whole argument about how I don't like that, you know, now like people always like think I got called selfish the other day because I said I didn't want to have kids.
What?
And I was like, how is that selfish of me that I don't want to have children? I think that's selfless of me because I know I would not want to have children, and that, you know, I wouldn't want to bring a child into a situation where they're like not wanted.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I know a lot of oopsie babies out there, so.
Well, you don't need to worry. I have 4 kids, so I have more than enough. Mel and I have more than enough children for you to adopt one or two.
Still chasing the elusive girl.
Yeah, we are, and I don't know if we'll ever get there because I don't know if I'm designed, Megan,
I don't think you are.
for girls. Because number one, I'm terrified. I was a young man before, and I know
We
how
just had
many
this
thoughts
conversation at lunch.
were so obsessed. How many thoughts of mine were so obsessed with girls? I look at my journal from when I was 14. All it has to do with how I was totally into these chicks. This girl, this girl, that girl, this girl. It was fun. I mean, I wasn't like, you know, a playboy.
Really,
and just starts.
You know what's really sad, I think, is like a lost art is journaling. I don't think people, like, especially like kids nowadays, like they don't journal. I think like what's the word I'm looking for? Not the power, but like the joy of like keeping your life private and kind of like to yourself is like not a thing anymore, you know?
Not
like
at all.
we're always speaking, I mean, look at us, right?
Yeah.
We like put everything out on social media, like we're like talking about what we ate that day and what we like pooped that day.
Yes.
You know, like we're just
My
talking
away
about
game.
yeah, your away game. Like we're talking about stuff all the time. But I think back to like just like, you know, not even like 10 years ago, like putting your business on the internet was not a thing.
Yes.
Like you were not putting it out there. Like you had this special little journal. Like there was even like a market for ones that like for journals that would lock.
Yes.
Do you ever remember those? Like they would lock, and then you would like have it like it would be like voice recognition. That was like the coolest thing where you'd be like, I love ponies 10, and it was like open, and then you would like write in your journal. Yeah, I think it's like a lost art.
Well, what's interesting is I think that a lot of times because we are so public, people feel like they have to make everything public. And,
Yeah.
and I don't think
I feel
that's
like-
true.
No, I don't think so. Because there's a lot of stuff that I keep very quiet.
Yeah.
I keep my dating life quiet
Mhm.
because I don't need you to know my dating life.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it's like for me, I don't know. It's like look at like all the like disappointments. Like I know the one thing that I do like is like a lot of people nowadays they wait till they get through their like first trimester just because so much can happen in your 1st trimester
Mhm.
before they make the announcement.
Yeah.
You know, and so I feel like that's kind of the same thing with like dating, right? Like
Yeah.
we don't really need to know that you're dating 20 men
Yeah.
right now. Like just make the announcement when you pick one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we don't need to go through this roller coaster of life with you.
Unless you want people to play like The Bachelor.
Unless you want to be on The Bachelor, then yes, we will publicize that.
You can make your own and have your own YouTube channel about how you're dating all these crazy dudes.
Oh my gosh, has
That'd be so
anybody
fun.
done that?
No, but I love the idea of it.
That's like just capitalizing on the Bachelor franchise, but for your own self.
Yeah. I mean, and people love watching things on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like my boys who are 14, 12, 9, and 2, they consume everything on YouTube.
My little
insane.
cousin the other day came I was like, stayed the night at my aunt's house, and she crawls into bed with me at like 8 a.m. and is watching some video of just this little girl that painted her face green. And I was like, what are we watching?
Which, by the way, you should note that for Megan being single, 8 a.m. is early. For the rest of us that have children, 8 a.m. would be a nice sleep in.
Yeah, I know. I was really shocked that she was up because apparently she's like a late owl or a night owl.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, why are you in here? I was up already, but I just didn't want to be bothered with a child, which is why
Which makes sense, though. You don't want to have children.
I don't want to have children. I don't.
But what's funny is somebody calls you selfish. Like the audacity to call you selfish when they don't know.
Yeah, and I went on a whole rant. It was actually my friend, and I was like, look, bro. And then I just kind of like drug him to filth. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think that it's selfish. And then I went on this really long rant to him about like, you know, I just don't think that, you know, yes, we like women can create life and that's a really beautiful and powerful thing that women can do, but that's not, you know, that's not what everybody, to me personally, I just don't think that's what I'm destined to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, my argument was I was just like, even if, you know, if and when I do get married, like, I don't think that having children is the end all be all to your relationship. Like, that's not the like pinnacle of like, look what we did in our marriage. It's like, there's so much more that you can build. Like, you can build memories, you can build a business together. I'd much rather build a business and things like that than I would like building a child.
Yeah.
Build a child. It's like build a bear, but not as fun.
Come on to the mall here. Let's see what we can do here. But kind of the same concepts.
But yeah, kind of the same concept. Yes. Both of you kiss the heart and then you stick it inside. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Oh god, that just went really weird. But yeah, it's kind of the same concept.
Well, what's crazy is though you have to justify it to someone though. That's the problem that we've had. You know, you mentioned about like privacy in public is that there's certain things that you can put out there. And so if I put a post up of me eating a steak, then somebody that wants to comment and say, hey, I can't believe that you're eating a steak. Again, that's the prerogative.
Yeah.
I put it out there publicly. But when it comes to your private choices, I was talking to this one guy, him and his girlfriend, and he doesn't have any desire to have any kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said that he had to justify to someone because they're like, well, who's going to take care of you when you're older? And he goes, I don't think that's why you have children.
Yeah,
is to take care of you when you're older.
Yeah.
I mean, what an outlandish way of
thinking. That's what
thinking.
long-term care is for.
Yeah, exactly. Plug for a little bit of insurance. But that's really where I think people, they because we do review everything,
Mm-hmm.
we do give surveys on almost everything,
Yeah.
we feel like, oh, well then let me give you my opinion, Megan, on your own personal life choices.
That's funny, right? So that actually makes me think of this other thing I saw on Instagram. I see things on the internet all the time. But it was this girl that she's 6 months pregnant. And she was at Starbucks ordering her coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And some random lady was like, oh, you shouldn't be drinking
Mm-hmm.
coffee while you're pregnant. And so this pregnant lady then looks at the woman and says, I'm not pregnant. And she was like, and the lady was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she was like, and that's what you get for giving your unsolicited opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is, right? Like, mind your own business. Like, what... It just so happened that yes, she was pregnant. But how do you know that she, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
no, that's what she stores. Unfortunately, we've seen it before. People have made these mistakes. I'm sorry, you're not pregnant. My bad.
Awkward.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. So anyways, I just randomly thought of that because that just popped up while we were uploading, and I thought that was a fun little tidbit of
Yeah.
a story to share.
So why don't we go backwards though and tell the anybody that's listening,
The audience.
the anchor audience, the Google Play, the Apple
Apple.
Play, all of you wonderful people. What happened the last month, because there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
and so not only from work, Megan and I have been working like crazy fast, and so we have this huge amount of, I mean, to not get into too much details, but we recruit, we bring people on, and so it's a
It's a big
team,
pipeline.
right? So there's this huge pipeline. So typically in a year we'll bring on about 6 people.
Yeah.
And right now Megan and I are on track to bring in about
8.
8 to 12,
Yeah.
depending on how well they do in their exams by the end of the year.
Yeah, 8 for sure.
Yeah. So
You
we're
know, like 8
working.
contracts.
And we've already brought in 2.
Yeah.
So we're working almost twice as fast. So that's really what took time between kind of the 8 to 6 every single day. And then why don't you tell people where you've been off to, because you've just been living it up. If people are following you on Instagram, they might want to know how Megan is affording all of this lavish lifestyle of travel and tanning and wine.
Yes. Yeah, so since our last episode, right before that, I was back already from Atlanta. So I went to Atlanta, but then why we didn't get another episode cranked out after that was I went to Puerto Rico. I went to
Yes.
Puerto Rico for my birthday, had fun. I was there for about like 4 days. Got real tan. So if you're
Yes.
watching us on YouTube, I'm pretty tan, which I look pretty pale in this lighting over here, but I'm actually pretty
Yes,
tan.
very tan.
So did that, and then
But not too tan, Megan, because I think you can get like a leathery tan,
no,
which Megan does not have
there
leather
was
looking
like
skin.
some parts of my body that are leathery. Like if I didn't exfoliate my arms the last couple of days, they were getting kind of leathery in the like elbow crevice. It was
Yeah.
kind of gross.
My gosh, seriously, if you're looking in the mirror and you resemble well-used leather, like on a couch, please just get out of the sun.
Get out of the
Stop
tanning bed.
tanning. It's unhealthy for you,
Yeah,
and it looks all
skin
sorts of
cancer
wrong.
is a real thing.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, went to Puerto Rico, and then coming back from that, then it was talking about the show. So
Ooh, yeah, that's been pretty cool.
surprise! We are also now a show. So the podcast is going to be separate. It's still going to be this banter and whatnot, but we are going to have the Asian Sensation show now being broadcast through Now Media Radio.
.com.
And so you can watch it on Facebook Live. You can watch it on YouTube, on their website of nowmediaradio.com. And so that one's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more segmented and like an actual show. We're going to bring on some entrepreneurs here in the great city of Houston, just kind of go along with our theme of entrepreneurship, but also just kind of make it a little bit more fun. But outside of that, then I got a new job. So Sherman and I will no longer be co-workers, but we are obviously still co-hosts. So the podcast is still going to keep going on, but I'll just be moving into a new realm of recruiting in a different industry. It's a little bit more salesy. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I've been here at this current company for 5 years, and sometimes it's I figured out that 5 is my threshold.
Yeah.
5 because
Was that when you broke up with your boyfriend?
yeah, that's
right?
when
Yeah,
that's when me and my boyfriend broke up, and then I realized I'm not going back. And so that was kind of like here, right? So I realized that for anybody out there, I will give you 5 years of my time, and then I will move on.
It's time to go. So Megan and I only have 4 years left since we had a 1 year anniversary.
Hopefully, we make it past that.
We better maximize these 4 years.
These
But
4
she knows
years.
my wife, so since
Yes.
she knows Mel, because good chance we can get 10,
Yes.
right? We can get 5 each.
Yes. 5 each, and then the boys they each get 5 years too.
Yeah. So then we're set for
The
a set
rest
for a
of
good,
my
good
life.
amount of time. Yeah. Especially because I'm so prolific and having many children. I guess at some point, Megan, someone's gonna come to me and ask me when I'm gonna stop.
Hopefully.
Oh my goodness! But so it's super exciting. So one of the things that I would say, and I think Megan would agree with this, is anytime that you have this inkling of wanting to hear something out, being open-minded to hear an
Yeah.
opportunity, whether that's job or just personally, you're just like, hey, maybe I should try yoga out. I've heard people are liking this yoga thing. Then just have a go at it, and then kick it down. See how long you can stay with
Yeah.
it. Because that was kind of the cool thing about your job is that I remember when you first came out of that first interview, you were not psyched. You were not like, okay, let's really roll with it.
Yeah, no, I was definitely like very skeptical. But then going into the second interview, I was like, yes, this is it. And so
culturally it matched. It finally just like
yeah,
hit the
it just made sense.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where you know, for anything, right? So I kind of posted this about my why into why I participate in network marketing on the side and from a side hustle perspective. And that was like something that I really had, you know, the last kind of tidbit of that story was, you know, we spend so much time like saying no, you know, because we're out of fear or out of like, you know, just not having enough faith in ourselves or whatever it is, or oh, you're, you know, whatever, you know, oh, you're scared of what people are going to think. But I think if we said yes more often to opportunities, we wouldn't regret it, you know, like we would just live more full lives. And I think that's where for me I've had that turning of a leaf, is just I kind of say yes to things that feel right to me.
Well, so the beauty of this one is that it's the title's recruiting consultant.
Yes.
Haven't officially done any consulting before.
Yeah,
right?
And if you go back to 2 episodes ago on Megan's Revelations, that's kind of what we talked about. I had a lot of signs and visions or whatever pointing towards consulting, right? And I, you know, at the end of the day, I will always say that I think that I know that my bigger picture is I want to help more individuals start businesses, you know, kind of get out from under the thumb of a 9-to-5. Doesn't mean that you have to give it up completely, but, you know, for me, you know, I enjoy the side of corporate. I enjoy all of that, but I also enjoy being a little bit of an entrepreneur, being able to kind of generate income off of what I'm good at, you know, or monetizing my passions in different ways. So yeah.
Well, that's how you're able to afford to go on some vacations.
Yeah.
It's no joke. So for a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, I can't go on this vacation, I can't do this. It's only maybe a couple grand, maybe $1,000, depending on how far you want to go and what kind of food you want to eat, to go on a vacation.
Yeah.
So one of the cool places that we follow is Escape Houston.
Yes.
On Instagram.
That's my favorite. It's why I went to Puerto Rico. It's why I've gone to Hawaii.
What was the cost? It was crazy, right?
Well, for me, because I'm a little bougie, I like to pick my seat.
Yes.
I like to be very in control of like where I'm sitting on the plane. I don't want to be like
here.
Caught. Yeah, you should not be surprised if you know me. I don't like to be that person that's like, surprise, you're sitting in the middle and it's between like two like just horrendous people.
Midwesterners.
Very cheesed up people. I just don't want to do it. So I'd rather just like pay for it. But I mean, the flight was too. I think what my friend had got hers for was $249 round trip.
Yeah, and so that's the Puerto Rico. Okay, so that's just phenomenal.
Yeah, and then my last flight to Hawaii that I had bought, it was like $353 round trip, like
which typically out of
insane.
Houston is like $1,000.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah,
okay.
And so it was like insane. So that's what I use for most of my trips. So if you're in the Houston area, they also have it in other areas: Dallas, Seattle, Austin. So they're like called Escape, and then whatever city you're in. They're not everywhere, but you can just kind of look it up.
They're going to Seattle, so look out, everybody.
Yeah,
on Instagram.
they're going to Seattle. They
have
Escape Dallas, Escape Austin. I think it was. I don't know. It must have been Texas based that it started off.
And you can see the history on their Instagram page, but it's of no value to you.
Oh yeah.
So basically, the deals last 24-48 max, right?
Yeah. You might get lucky and it will last 72, but it's between 24 to 72 hours, depending on where it is and how many people take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But it's mostly all done through Priceline. But what Escape Houston does is they actually they like post it for you, so they're constantly on there searching and posting it out.
Yeah.
But now that this is now an ad for Escape Houston,
you're welcome, Escape Houston.
Welcome.
This is Megan and Sherman at the Asian Sensations.
So if you're listening,
send us over some of that sponsorship cabbage.
But to go back, So that's how I'm affording most of my trips. Is that, well, one, I buy my flights on deals.
Yes.
But I use my expendable money through my side hustle to do that, and that is exactly how I got into it. Which I'm pretty sure I already talked about that on side hustles. Are they worth it and whatnot? So I don't want to rehash that conversation. But that is really what attracted me to network marketing. Was my friend who is also my upline reached out to me and said, "Hey, I just saw you got back from Hawaii. What would you think about doing something that would make you extra money to afford your Hawaii trips?" And I was like, I'm sold. Literally, I was probably the easiest person they had to pitch. They just told me, and I said, sure, why not? 30-day money back guarantee. I'll pay for it, and then
let's go.
Well,
and so for a lot of people, that's $150 a month. That's $2,000 just for those of you that are math declined, and that could afford you to go to Hawaii, right? Now you can't go there for 10 days and eat out every single day on $2,000 because that's Hawaii. But again, I think for a lot of people, and let's say you don't want to even you live near a nice place, you can go to a beach.
If you're doing it properly, you can do a Hawaii trip for less than $1,000.
Yeah.
Well.
If you're flexible. If you're more flexible, right?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, probably with accommodations and flights or whatever, that'll be $1,000. But a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna go there and spend $1,000. I went with $1,500 and I walked home with maybe $1,100. But that's just because I'm not hitting up the 5-star restaurant. I'm more of a local person. Give me all of the poke.
Yep.
Go
where the locals are, right?
Yeah, I'm always a go where the locals are.
I prefer that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I can get Applebee's anywhere. You know what I mean? Or whatever the chain is.
Yeah,
just name
and
what it is.
and from a tourist perspective, they're gonna just jack up the price because they know you're a tourist.
Yep.
If you're going to a local place, it's even better.
Yeah.
And way cheaper.
So basically, look before you go inside. What does the makeup look like? A bunch of white people from Europe, probably not your place. You go in there, bunch of locals, wearing flip-flops and shorts, then probably your game. With no sunburn, by the way. That's usually the dead giveaway. Those that are sunburned are the tourists. Just so you know. That's a good advice, though, for any ethnic restaurant. I went into my family and I were going to have some Indian food the other day here in Houston. We went into this buffet, Indian buffet. You know how I like buffets, Megan. And there was one Indian person. And
was it up?
It was up kind of near Cyprus-ish area.
Oh, okay.
And so we literally walked in and walked out because I'm like,
There's a really good one right over here.
This is not happening. Because same thing. If you go to a Chinese restaurant and there's no Chinese people eating in there, then they don't like it, and then you should go somewhere else.
Yeah, most of the places that I'm going, especially for Vietnamese food, it's Vietnamese people that are in there, and we're all speaking Vietnamese.
I don't want you to barely speak English. I want you to point out a menu that's been translated for me, maybe in pencil. And I'm totally down. I know you get the real stuff. And by the way, I'm okay if it's got MSG on it. It's just what I roll. There's 1 billion people in China. They've been devouring MSG for decades.
I don't even know what MSG is.
It's the synthetic version of sodium, like salt, table salt.
Oh.
So think of it like what's it? Aspartame. It's like the fake version of sugar. Same kind of concept. So they're like, oh, it's chemicals, whatever. Makes me a little thirsty
sodium's
afterwards.
still bad for you too, so.
Yeah. At some point, Megan, something's
gonna kill you.
It's either my driving, the way I treat people, or
You treat people pretty well.
I try to treat people pretty well, but I know that there's some people that will not like what I do. Which announcement, by the way, did I tell you this? That somebody on my Instagram account made a message like, Sherman
is it fake?
Is the fakest guy I've ever met. Came in and out of. I used to live in Wausau. Beware. And I said, well, sorry, made you feel that way. And then, of course, I blocked them because
I need that kind of negativity in my life.
I don't, man. I'm all positive in here. So yeah, I want you to blow wind up my skirt. That's just how I roll. Smoke, not wind. Smoke. Blow smoke up my skirt, I guess.
Smells like wind.
I like to be complimented, Megan.
Yes.
Just how I like my life to be.
It's because we're Leos. We like words of affirmation is our love language.
And so I would say to anybody, even though Megan and I have these crazy thoughts, in no way are we perfect. We will make tons of mistakes. And if you meet us in real life, we're just like an average human being.
Yes.
I literally put on my pants one leg at a time.
I'm jumping into mine. Just kidding.
That would be awesome, actually. I'd be afraid I'd break them, though.
Yeah, I would totally.
Like, I'm not coordinated enough. I would totally hit the crotch and be like, break it up. Which, by the way, announcement, I did split a pair of
I
pants
was like,
a couple weeks ago.
Didn't you blow the butt out
Yeah,
of your pants?
I blew the butt out of a pair of pants. It was a suit like this one that I'm wearing on right now. It's a seersucker, but it's tan.
Oh, yeah.
But luckily it was just literally on the we're gonna call it the seam of the butt, and so it'll the crack of the pants, and they'll get sewed up here shortly.
Oh, you're gonna fix them?
I'll fix them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a believer of like fix it up until like unless it looks inappropriate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if it's like looks like a Frankenstein kind of scar, then I won't. But
It's like patched up.
the only way that you would ever know, everybody, is that if you were like literally like laid right beneath me and I had my legs wide open. So
Which, if you're that close, you have a
inappropriate.
problem.
Yeah, inappropriate. Get off the ground.
Mel will come find you, and if Mel doesn't, I will find you for Mel.
We've hit a weird spot.
We really have.
So anyway, so super exciting. Megan's moving on to a really cool job. It's going to have some. You don't know how to do everything, so you're going to learn to do stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the fun thing about it, right? Is that
Yeah.
you don't have to know everything.
Yeah, and after a while, you kind of get bored, right? You get stagnant.
Yes.
Well, I think most ambitious people get bored when they're stagnant. And so, so that's why you'll find some people that have been in careers for a really, really long time. But, unless it is in the kind of that sales capacity or challenging type of role, it's just for me, I needed something new, and I learned all that I could, I think, in recruiting and financial servicing, and now I want to recruit somewhere else. I just know I'm good at recruiting and good talking to people, and selling them on careers. So why not?
Well, and that's really hits your why that you mentioned, that you like helping people, whether it's start their own business or find something, right? And that's exactly what recruiting is. You're helping people find something that they might not know existed out there.
Yeah, like helping them just find their purpose.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, everybody, we appreciate you tuning in. If we can help you in any way, please shoot us an email at the Asian Sensations Podcast at gmail.com, and we'd love to be able to answer any questions that you might have. Appreciate any comments that you put out there. And hope you guys just do real well.
Yeah, and then also don't forget to tune in to our new The Asian Sensation show on nowmediaradio.com. Our first episode is out where we talk a little bit more about my journey into finding a new job and talking about negotiating salary. So that's on there if you want to look at that. We didn't want to rehash that because we like our podcast to be more off the cuff, what's on our mind at that moment. So that's what we got for y'all for today.
All right, enjoy. Peace out, everybody.
Have a good one.